Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you are a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, we're really glad you joined us and we hope you like what you hear and can learn a little something from what we talk about today. So, our podcast is for people that want to learn something new or make themselves a little bit better every day. And today's topic, we're going to give you 5 real tips that you can use to live in the moment. And so we spend a lot of time, all of us, I'm as guilty of this as anybody, of looking back and saying, oh, this went wrong. I should have done this different. How did that play out, et cetera, et cetera. Or anticipating what's coming in the future. I've got plans for this. I've got to get that done. I've got a busy day, a busy week, whatever the case may be. And it is very, very important for your mental health. And it will actually increase your productivity and increase your happiness in your life if you can learn to be very deliberate about living in the moment as much as you can. And they're so important. It's just such an important thing to your mental health and your well being that we wanted to give you some tips that you could use in your everyday life to focus on that. How do you enjoy what's going on right now? So, without further ado, let's get into those tips. Tip number 1 is to start your day with intention. So, what do we mean by that? That means the minute you wake up, before you do anything, you consciously decide that you're going to focus on right now. Don't check your phone. Don't go down and turn on the television. Don't turn on the radio. Don't start thinking about the meeting that you're preparing for. Don't think about what happened yesterday. Make the decision that you're going to decide to live right now. You're going to enjoy what is going on or what's happening in your life right now. And maybe you pick an exercise to make this like necessary. It's what you do first thing. Maybe you have a stretching routine or a brief calisthenics routine that you want to partake in right when you get out of bed. Maybe you want to meditate for 5 or 10 minutes and really just focus on clearing your mind and being very present with what you're doing right now, which is sitting and relaxing and putting yourself in a good mental space before you start your day. Maybe you write in a journal. Maybe you reach over and grab your journal and your pen and you write down your thoughts, what you dream about, how you feel, those kind of things. But avoid jumping into your normal routine of the day. Don't reach for your phone. Don't check your emails. Don't pull up a website and see what's going on in the world. I'm going to take this time for me right now. And then there's an exercise you could do for that. Write down one thing that you want to experience today without distraction. Maybe it's a cup of coffee. Maybe you like going for a walk on lunch. Maybe you like meditating at night. Maybe you like to stretch. Maybe you like to exercise. Maybe you like to run. Whatever it is, you're going to pick one thing that you're going to focus on, just that, while you're doing it. You're not going to think about a bunch of other stuff. Exercise is good for that because we have found that when you're lifting weights or you're doing cardio, running, whatever the case may be, you can really clear your mind and just focus on your breathing, focus on your muscles, focus on the sweat that you're generating from your body. We have found that to be very successful for us. It doesn't need to be your thing. It can be whatever is important to you. We're not coffee drinkers, but we think a lot of people love coffee. I'd stay away from the wine early in the morning. Probably a good way to get in trouble at work, trouble driving to work, those kind of things. But whatever that activity is, you get to pick it. And you're going to be very intentional about it and focus on just that activity. It's real simple. And then you could have a mantra, like, I'm going to enjoy the day. Like the one we spit out when we did our research on this was, I choose presence today. That seems corny to us. That wouldn't work for us. If it works for you, great. We're not judging anybody. We're not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. But you've got to find something that works in your brain that makes you focus on the here and now, right now. I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to enjoy today. I'm going to really be present today. whatever it is, whatever works for you. If you start your day off with that, it gives you a better chance of achieving that goal as you go through the day. So that's tip one. Tip number two, and this one's super important. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, this one is a great one to practice. Practice single tasking. You hear people say multitask. I can multitask. That's bullshit. Nobody can multitask. What they actually mean when they say that, and some people can do this, we're actually fairly good at this, which is switching from one task to another task to another task, and then going back to the original task and quickly picking up where you left off and getting back in the mindset to focus on that task. But multitasking, when you're worried about two or three things or trying to do two, three things at once, it dilutes your attention, it splits your resources, and it makes you less effective at all of the things that you're doing. Plus, it doesn't allow you to really savor and really enjoy what you've got going on. And you can enjoy hard work. You can enjoy hard experiences. I love taking my dog out and running her around off of her leash. We've got a park that's not far from us, and we'll go do that. Now, the last 7 days, it's been effing cold here where we are in the single digits at night, and we've gotten snowfall 4 of the last 7 days. So that's kind of a tough environment. But we love to see the joy that our dog has. Just run around, playing in the snow. She likes to chase a frisbee if we throw it. Focusing on just that, even though it can be uncomfortable. Like, it's cold out there when it's, single digits. But I'd rather be doing that and really enjoying what I've got going on than a lot of other things. So you can enjoy tough things. Enjoy the fact that you get to do hard work. There's a value in hard work. You're making yourself better as a person. You're doing something productive. You're achieving something. You're accomplishing something. You can enjoy that. So that's one example. Another example, when you're eating, put your goddamn phone away. Stop looking at. There's nothing in the world that's so important that you can't take 30 to 45 minutes and enjoy a meal by yourself, enjoy a meal with people you care about, eat a meal and observe what's going on around you. Those are all things that you can do. Focus on the food you have. Maybe it's really good food. If you're on a good nutrition program, you're going to be eating food that is not only good for you, but it is high quality food. And you can really enjoy the experience of that meal, the different flavors of the different things that are in the meal, the different textures of the things that you're eating, the taste of whatever beverage you're having with your meal. All of those are things that you can really enjoy, and we kind of do them mindlessly because we're thinking about what's next. And put your goddamn phone away. You can put your phone down and spend a half hour to 45 minutes with people. I suck at this, by the way. So this is a little bit of a person in a glass house throwing stones. But it's terribly important, and it's really good for your mental well-being and your mindset. And it'll help you focus on what's going on. And then pick one activity, daily activity you're going to do with full attention, like we talked about before. Could be brushing your teeth, could be taking a walk, could be exercising, could be your drive to work, could be lots of things. It's whatever you decide, and you're going to notice all the little details that you can notice. We were driving down a street we drive down all the time the other day, and we noticed something because my wife called it out. And she said, "Have you noticed that place?" And I said, "No, never." And I've driven down the street for years, and I've never noticed that place. That'll tell you how tunnel vision and focused I get on something, that I could drive by something that's been there forever, and I've never, ever noticed it. And it's less than 2 miles from my house. It's crazy that something like that can happen, but it's absolutely the truth. But notice every little detail about something that'll really focus you and force you to kind of be in the moment. So that's tip number 2. Practice single tasking. Focus on what you're doing right now. And then how do you do that? What's a good way to do that? That's tip number 3. Use your senses to anchor yourself in the moment, or really force yourself to be in the moment. Your senses are powerful tools, right? Sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing. All sorts of things are going on around you, and we block a lot of those out because we're diluting our mind share and thinking about things in the future, thinking about things in the past, instead of focusing on what's happening in front of us right now. And this is another really good thing to do if you feel yourself being very anxious, if you've got a thought in your head that you can't get out, if you're really kind of spiraling on something or really dialed in on something and you're having a hard time getting yourself off of it. Take a minute and think about your surroundings. And when I say think about your surroundings, I mean really think about your surroundings. The exercise for this one is to do what's called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. So what does that mean? It means use all of your senses and you're going to notice things about your surroundings. Name 5 things you see: chair, door, light, hallway, tile, dog, couch, whatever it is. You're going to pick at least 5 things that you see. And then you're going to pick 4 things that you feel. Maybe it's the way your clothing feels on your body. Maybe it's the way your hands feel on the desk or the furniture that you're sitting on. Maybe it's the temperature of the room. Whatever it is, you're going to pick 4 things that you feel, that you touch, that you sense. Then you're going to pick 3 things that you hear. Maybe it's a bird chirping. Maybe it's a copier going. Maybe it's your furnace running. Maybe it's the toilet running because you just flushed it. Maybe it's your car engine. Maybe it's whatever. It doesn't matter. But you're going to very consciously think about 3 things that you hear right now in the moment that you're at. 2 things that you smell. I have a terrible sense of smell, so I'm not real good at this one. But pick 2 things that you smell in whatever you're in right now. And then pick 1 thing that you taste. It might even be you haven't had any food in a while and you haven't had a drink in a while and you've got cotton mouth. There's a taste that goes with that. And by forcing yourself to focus on what it is you're experiencing right now, it'll really ground you to that moment and ground you to that experience. And that is a really powerful technique to use to get your mind off of something that you're stuck on. If you're in a rut, if you're obsessing about something, use that technique, that 5-4-3-2-1 technique, to get yourself out of it, to force yourself to focus on something else. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, embrace micro moments of gratitude. Little things. Acknowledge small joys that keep you in the present. Sometimes I'll just be petting my dog and think, hey, this is really nice that I've got a dog. So my running joke is, if you want to know if your dog or your spouse loves you more, lock them both in the trunk of your car, leave them there for a half hour, and when you open it, see which one's happy to see you. That's going to be your dog, not your spouse. So I love having dogs. And just that little simple joy. Sometimes I'll just be in the same room with my wife and I'll look at my wife and she is just a very striking, pretty lady. And I will just notice how beautiful she is. Sometimes I'll be around my kids and think, I'm so lucky to have 3 great sons. Like, some people never get those things. And I've had them in my life for 20 plus years. Like, those things are awesome. And if you acknowledge those small things, it will help you feel joy and gratitude. And it sounds crazy, but it works. Another example, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. We've talked about that a lot, the importance of getting outdoors and letting the wind hit your face and the sunlight hit your skin and the smell of outdoors. We've talked about that a lot on this channel, and there's a ton of value to doing those things. You're eating a piece of fruit and it is really fresh and it is really sweet and it is really tart and it is really juicy. Really enjoy the experience of that. Maybe you interact with someone on the street in a fun or jovial way. Enjoy that interaction with that person. So there's lots of ways you can do it, but there's all these little moments that happen in your life, and those are the little moments that make life worth living, but we kind of gloss right over them because we're so focused on what's next. We're so focused on what we're supposed to be doing. We're so focused on what happened yesterday that we don't enjoy what's happening right now. And if you can learn to do that, if you can train yourself to do that more often than you are now and continue to build on that habit, you are going to be amazed at the benefit it has for your mental health and mental well-being. And so our exercise for this is set an alarm. Maybe you set an alarm for 4 times a day. And when that alarm goes off, you are going to stop and you're going to name something that you're grateful for right now. Could be something happening right now. It could be something that in your life that you really appreciate. Don't just say the same thing over and over again. Force yourself to think about it in that moment and name something that you're grateful for. And that's a really good exercise to do to kind of force that mindfulness that we're talking about. And then tip number 5, accept what is. And this one is really hard for people. This is actually something we're actually very good at. So we don't spend a lot of time worried about things that have happened. It sucks. Like, we've had good things happen to us, we've had bad things happen to us. We've been involved in great situations, we've been involved in crappy situations. At the end of the day, whatever has already happened has already happened. You cannot unring the bell. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can say whatever saying you want here, but the past is done. There is no changing it. The future has yet to happen, and you might be able to do some things to impact what happens in the future, but at the end of the day, you can't control the future. If we told you on January 1st, 2020 that, hey, guess what? The whole world's going to shut down in a month, you'd have been like, get out of here, you joker. But that's exactly what happened a month after that date. And we didn't know. Nobody knew that was going to happen. But you have to accept those things as they come and deal with the current situation that you're in. So being present means letting go of the past, not worrying about the future, and accepting things as they are right now. So the example we've got here is if you're stuck in traffic, instead of stressing out about it, notice your breath, listen to a podcast, listen to a song, make a call to a friend, do something to take your mind off of this goddamn traffic. Not helpful, doesn't change the traffic. Weaving in and out of traffic, driving like a maniac, that doesn't help it either. But it is what it is. This is how it's going to be, and I'm going to react in a positive way, in a way that's healthy for me. So the exercise here is a breathing exercise. And we've talked about the cleansing breath before, and it resets your nervous system. It is such a valuable tool. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just doing that can have such a positive impact on you, on your mindset, on the situation that you're in. You could take 3 of them, take 5 of them, whatever works for you. And then, hey, it is what it is. This is where I'm at. It is what it is. This is the situation we're in. We might like it, we might not like it, but this is where we're at right now. And we're going to deal with that because that's all we can deal with right now. That's all we've got. So accept what is. We're big Patriots fans, even now that they suck and they broke up with their coach and they're probably the worst organization in NFL right now. But at one point, they were the best. And that was one of Bill Belichick's famous sayings. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to have to deal with what is, because that's all we can deal with right now. And that's one of the reasons those teams were so successful, was he kept them focused on what can I do right now? What is my role? What is my job right now? So those are our 5 tips today, guys. Just a quick recap of those tips. Tip number 1, start your day with intention. Tip number 2, practice single tasking. Tip number 3, use your senses to anchor yourself. Remember our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Tip number 4 is to embrace micro moments of gratitude. And tip number 5 is accept what is. And if you can learn those things, if you can train yourself to incorporate those into your everyday life, it's going to do so much to help your mental health. It's going to do so much to help your attitude. It's going to do so much to help your happiness in life. And no matter how things are, there are things that are worth being excited about. We watched a documentary one time about Pablo Escobar, and he did both great and absolutely horrible things in the world. But at one point, he was on the run when they were trying to catch him and kill him, which they eventually did. And the guy he was with said they were laying in a ditch, and Pablo Escobar pulled out a little transistor radio and heard the score of the soccer game and was excited because his team was winning. So when they were literally chasing him to kill him, he could focus on, hey, at least I got one good thing here right now. At least my soccer team's winning. So that's an extreme example and an extreme guy, but that's the way you got to go about it. You got to find the silver lining in every cloud that's dumping rain on you. Or you've got to really enjoy when things are going well. Because remember, we did a podcast yesterday talking about change. Things are going to change whether you want them to or not. And you need to be able to deal with that. So that's the episode for today, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on these topics in the comments. If you have techniques that you use, if you have things that you struggle with, if you have done this in the past and had a success story from it, it'd be great if you could drop that in the comments so all the listeners could share your experiences. We could help each other out and figure out the best way for all of us to work on these techniques and make our lives better. So James puts it up over here every day. Don't forget to head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All of our podcast episodes available there. All of our social media content, links to all of our social media content are available there. And we publish a newsletter every weekday that we think you would enjoy. It's a short read, be a great way to start your day. We make jokes, we're kind of snarky, we make fun of stuff, talk about current events, and we think you'd enjoy it. So you can subscribe to that newsletter on our website as well. And then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our podcast on whatever platform you consume it on. It's super helpful for us if you're able to do that. We don't send you a bunch of shit and annoy you. It's just helpful for us to build our audience and help kind of raise our profile and get the word out to more people. So this episode's airing on a Friday. Appreciate everyone following us all week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.